Hello everyone. I have a question from you. Can Germany do blockchain? Raise your hand if your answer is yes. Okay, like 80% of the people in the room. My name is Mahsa Dorfart, and I am here today to represent W3NOW Study, the biggest Web3 research project in Germany. W3NOW Study was led by the Hanseatic Blockchain Institute, which is based in Hamburg, and it was financed by the Federal Ministry of the Economics and Energy to find the answer of this question. Can Germany do blockchain? We will try to figure out where exactly we stand when it comes to the use cases and application of the blockchain in German economy. This is our study. At the end of the presentation, I will share a QR code. You can check it to download the study. We have also done a series of short movies in collaboration with Hamburg 1, which is a regional TV broadcaster based in Hamburg. In each episode, we try to introduce a new innovative German blockchain project. And in some of the episodes, we had representatives from big enterprises, for example, von BASF or SAP, and they try to explain how they use blockchain technology in their business. So how we did this study, in the first part, we did representative economic surveys, and it was done by the IFO Institute. IFO Institute is somehow the biggest economic think tank of Germany and a scientific hub. And in the next stages, we did quantitative expert surveys and qualitative expert interviews with companies which were already using blockchain in Germany to see where exactly we stand and how is the potential of the blockchain technology in Germany. So based on the results of the study, blockchain in Germany has not reached the majority of the companies. As you can see here, 3% of the people who took part in the study were actually using blockchain technology. 4% were planning to use it, 20% were discussing, and around 75% said it's not relevant for us and we don't want to do anything with it. If you take a look at the industry distribution here, we can see that manufacturing industry had the most users. So the most of the people who were using, planning, discussing blockchain technology were from the manufacturing industry. Even though we are far away from the adoption, there are some success stories in Germany. From the 200 companies who took part in our survey, financial services had the highest affinity towards blockchain, and we can see that 54% of financial service companies were actually using blockchain, and 57% of the companies in Germany were doing consultancy services for blockchain. And when we talk about financial services, it's not just cryptocurrencies and using them as an investment assets. We can also refer it to electronic securities or instant money transfers. And we can see that it is also used in different industries like digital identities, marketing, license, management, and copyright. We also included public and private blockchains in our study. Blockchain networks have some differences when it comes to who can access what. When it's private, only authorized authorities can access and interact with the data. And when it's a public one, everyone can have access to it. And when it's a public permissionless one, it means you don't need a permission to do anything with the data there. So we did this test because we wanted to see German companies will use private or public blockchains. Which one do they prefer to use? And the results was, here you can see public permissionless blockchains were used by 76% of the people who took part in the survey. And on the other side, you can see only 34% of the people who took part in the study were using private permission blockchains. And this one is interesting here. You can see that in supply chain management, most of the use cases of the private permission blockchain was in supply chain management. And most of the use cases of public permissionless blockchain was in financial services, digital identities, and marketing. In our study, we have analyzed so many different industries, the intersection of AI, gaming, sustainability with blockchain. I'm not going to review all of them, but I just took this chart because it is somehow aligned with the topic of today's conference, and it's about the ESG. So we were trying to figure out if blockchain is actually going to help German companies to move towards their ESG goals, to implement their sustainability developments and changes that they wanted to do in their company. These numbers are based on what the companies think. So most of the companies believe that blockchain will help in transparency and disclosure of information. So 76% of the people believe that it is useful in transparency, and this is actually one of the biggest issues of companies which are trying to document all their data in the ESG sector. As we were doing the industry research, we came up with some hurdles. So these hurdles are actually what the companies who took part in the study thought they are the most important ones. I have chosen just 3 of them. There are so much more in the report when you read them. The first one is risk-averse culture in many companies. So the German companies, the big enterprises, when they have their own infrastructure and we want to integrate blockchain into that infrastructure, they are a little hesitant. And we also have regulatory uncertainties and fear of unknown, and also shortage of qualified experts. These are the biggest hurdles in German economy. Based on this study, we had some action recommendations to tell the economy what we can do to move forward. So the first one is regulatory adjustments. It is recommended to create some framework so that the companies in the industry, the policymaker, everyone can do collaborations together, and there can be fundings from the governments, research projects. We need to have some more open and innovative regulations and better collaborations, and focus on key sectors. As I showed in the former slides, we could see that financial services and identity management were some of the biggest industries which are actually using blockchain a lot. So we should focus on sectors which have already made some progress in this area because they have potential. And we have also public awareness. So we need to educate the experts of the future. It is very important for people to get aware of what this technology is capable of, and that's why we need to have a lot of conferences, events, workshops, so that we can educate everyone about it. If you scan this QR code, you can reach our report, and at the end, I can say that collaboration between industry leaders, policymakers, and everyone in the industry is key, and only then we can actually come to the point that blockchain can be a key changer in strengthening the economy of Germany. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Masa.